Hello everybody and welcome to the Leading Edge Detailing Online Training Academy. In this tutorial we're going to be talking about everything you need to know to establish an amazing foundation of understanding automotive paint. This is very important and it is probably the single most important tutorial you're going to watch in the paint correction segment, because without understanding these core foundations you're probably going to be either wasting time doing a lot of trial and error or chasing your tail trying to fix a problem that would have otherwise been quickly resolved if you understand what you're going to be talking about in this tutorial. This tutorial is also going to be broken up into different areas because there is a lot of information, and to allow you to understand it and absorb it much easier, we're going to be breaking it up into small segments. The first segment we're going to be talking about is understanding why cars are painted. Then we're going to be talking about the different layers of the paint. We're going to talk about solid versus clear-coated paints, talking about solid versus metallic and pearlescent paint, and finally we're going to talk about soft and hard paint as well as paint thickness. So there is a lot to absorb. Feel free to pause this video, rewind it, watch this tutorial as many times as you want to, and refer to it whenever you like if you're finding yourself stuck working on a difficult car. Now let's get stuck into it. Why do cars have paint? To me, they have paint for two reasons. The first one is to look good. People want to look different, people want to have different cars, manufacturers want to have things to upsell and a point of difference, so not all the cars need to look the same. Different cars will always look different, that's just the way of life, and it makes them look better having different colors. That's the easy part to understand. The slightly more hidden part is actually that the reason cars are painted is not to look pretty. It is to protect the surface that is being painted. So if cars don't have paint, they're going to rust. If plastics and composites don't have paint, they're going to be degraded by UV. So the paint, the main job of the paint is actually to protect the substrate or the surface. Without having that paint there, that vehicle is not going to last and be durable. It's going to fall apart much sooner. So our job as detailers is not only to make cars look shiny and beautiful, it's to protect the paint so then the paint can protect the car. We've got that out of the way. Let's talk about the different layers of paint. And I know for people who are stopping now saying, there are so many different kinds of paint. Yes, but I'm not a painter. You can jump on Google and look up epoxy and acrylics and all that kind of stuff. I don't have the knowledge to explain to you every single type of paint, and for the purpose of detailing, we don't need to think about every single type of paint. We just need to understand the layers of the paint, the types of the paint that are relevant to us, which is what we're going to go through in this tutorial. What are the different layers of the paint? Quite simple. You have your substrate, and by substrate, we're talking about the surface that's getting painted. So some cars it's going to be steel, it's going to be alloy or aluminium, it's going to be plastic, it's going to be fiberglass, it's going to be carbon fiber. There's always a substrate. On top of the substrate, normally speaking, there's going to be a primer. And the job of the primer is to allow the paint to bond to the substrate. Primers, generally speaking, look a little bit gray. So sometimes if you have a stone chip and it looks gray, that is because that stone chip has taken the paint off, but there's still primer on top of that metal. On top of that primer is where you're going to have your color. If the car is red, blue, yellow, white, whatever it is, that is when the color goes on top of the primer. And finally, and again it's a generalization, you're going to have a clear coat. It's important to understand that not all cars have a clear coat on top of the color. Modern cars, and most modern cars, I'm talking about 99% of modern cars, will have a clear coat because it's more durable, it's better looking, it's more scratch resistant, but it is not always the case. And we're going to talk about that right now. There are two different types of paint that are going to come to your workshop. You're going to have your normal vehicle, which has those 4 layers, or 3 layers, I shall say, on top of the substrate. But sometimes, whether it's an industrial or a commercial vehicle, or an older vehicle, some colors only came out with the color without a clear. And we call that a single stage paint. In my shop, I used to call it a single stage paint. I'm sure there are more technical and accurate terms out there, but for the purpose of this video, let's call it a single stage paint. And generally speaking, and the classic example is a red Ferrari. Most red Ferraris, I would say, that were made prior to 2018 or something like that, almost all of them came out with just the red color without a clear coat. So when you're polishing them, your pad turns red. The dust that comes off your pad is red. Your clothes go red. And that's because there is no clear coat. You don't have to necessarily worry about cars that don't have a clear coat, but you need to understand that they're more susceptible to oxidation, and that's where a lot of red cars go pink, or a lot of commercial white vehicles go chalky white. And also you need to understand that because it is a solid color, to my understanding, I have never seen a solid color that has any metallic or pearlescent in there. So it tends to be more on the soft side. And there is going to be a special technique we're going to be talking about later on in a dedicated tutorial on how to polish solid, very sticky, very soft paints. But for the purpose of now, you just need to remember that solid colors means that paint is going to transfer to your pad, and it also, generally speaking, means that the paint is softer. Where cars with a clear coat are tend to be, generally speaking, a little bit harder than solid colors. Now let's talk about cars that have a clear coat. Within that segment, there are also a few different styles of paint there. You have cars that are a solid color, so there is no metallic or pearlescent, but it does have a clear coat. Then you also have cars with metallic flakes and pearlescent flakes. Generally speaking, cars that are solid color with a clear coat tend to be on the softer side, where cars that have pearlescent or metallic have a harder pigment or a harder clear coat. Or alternatively, they actually just hide micro scratches and marring much easier than a car that is solid. So again, a lot of generalization, but it will work and apply 99% of the time. So throughout this tutorial, you have heard me refer to things as soft and hard. And what I mean by soft and hard is the ability of that painted surface to resist micro scratching. All paint can scratch, all paint can swirl mark, and that is a problem we all have to deal with. However, when you're polishing, you will find a soft paint is a paint that will need a lot more work in the finishing stage. So as you're polishing, and polish is an abrasive process, when you're dealing with a soft paint, that abrasiveness takes more paint, more clear coat off quickly. And what you'll find happening is that you can remove deep defects quick, but the process of the polishing itself is going to leave micro scratches in the paint, where a harder paint is the exact opposite. It might take a lot more effort to remove what looks like a very shallow swirl mark, but at the same time, you're going to find that you can finish that paint off much easier because you can use a more abrasive pad and product and not have micro scratches that you put into the paint. And again, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about that in much more detail in its own tutorial. But as a generalization, and you can get a pen and paper and write this down, here are things that you'll find more often than not being soft and more often than not being hard. Starting off with, as we already mentioned, single stage colors, so cars without a clear coat, tend to be on the softer side of the scale. Cars that are made in America tend to be on the soft side of the scale. Cars that are without metallic flakes or pearlescent are on the soft side of the scale. Some Korean made vehicles are soft. Dark pigments tend to be on the soft side. Japan paint, most European paints, most Korean paints tend to be in the medium hardness. And that is a very nice place to work with. And finally, when you're talking about German paint, in particular Mercedes, AMG and Volkswagen, they tend to be on the hard scale, and especially white pigments tend to be on the very hard scale. So again, it is a generalization. Porsches, for example, tend to be more on the medium to hard side, but I have had a black Porsche be very soft on the paint. But generally speaking, American cars, solid colors, cars without any metallic flake are on the very soft end of the scale. Japanese, Korean, French, Italian, cars like that tend to be in the middle, especially if they are a silver kind of pigment or blue-red, they tend to be in the middle. And German paint, especially white or AMG black, tends to be on the extremely hard side of things. Generalization, but will help you get out of trouble 99% of the time, I guarantee. Now let's talk about paint thickness. We mentioned that there are different layers of paint. Keep in mind when we talk about thickness, we're not talking about the thickness of just the clear coat or the color that you're working on. The paint thickness for most gauges, if not all gauges, except the posimeter, which is incredibly expensive, is only going to show you one reading. And that reading is your clear coat, your color, and your primer down to the metal. So if you take a reading and it is 100 microns thick, you need to remember you don't have 100 microns to play with, because you will burn through that paint well before 100 microns. As a generalization and to be safe, let's say that 30 to 45% of the thickness of the paint is the clear coat that you can work on. The rest of it is the color and primer. If you're working on a car that doesn't have a clear coat, let's just be safe and say, 70% is color, 30% is primer, and then you're down to the substrate. And unfortunately, unless you have a posimeter, you can't really take readings on non-metal surfaces. So plastics, carbon fiber, and fiberglass is going to be a very educated guess, and you're going to have to be very careful, where aluminium and steel you can most definitely take a reading on. Let's talk about thicknesses now, and this is going to be quite a tough subject, but again, lots of general information here and lots of generalizations. Most new cars have paint thicknesses ranging anywhere from 80 microns to 120 microns. The reason is, the thinner the paint, the more flexible it is. Also, manufacturers want to save money, and if they're going to try to save 1 liter of paint per car they're spray painting, that can work out to be millions of dollars a year for them in their bottom line. So they're going to try to paint cars as thin as possible, as simple as that. So if you're taking measurements and you're getting readings of 80 to 120, you can probably say that that is OEM paint. If you start getting readings of more than 150, especially more than 200, that paint's probably more likely than not sprayed by a person, especially if the surrounding panels are not in line. So if you're measuring the paint and it's 80 or 90 microns the whole way, and then one of the recorders is 300, you can assume that that panel has been resprayed. In saying that, there are still some manufacturers that paint by hand. I think Rolls-Royce does, or Bentley, and they tend to have paint thicknesses of over 200, which is fine. The critical thing for you to understand is that the thicker the paint, the more brittle it is. So if you're working on a muscle car and that thickness is 500, 600, 700 microns, that's probably why you'll see a lot of chips and cracks in that paint, because it just loses its flexibility, it becomes brittle. Also, let's talk about the point of no-go. So if you're doing paint correction, I would say anything less than 100 microns, take special attention. Do not go crazy with the cutting. If you start getting to the level of, let's say, 90 microns, 80 microns, be very careful doing any heavy cutting. Anything 85 microns and less, no heavy cutting whatsoever. Anything under 80 microns, very light polish. Anything mid 70 microns and lower, just wax it. It's not worth taking the risk, because you don't know what that paint was when it was brand new. And at the end of the day, a 1 millimeter is 1,000 microns. So if we're talking about 100 microns, that is 10% of 1 millimeter, if my math is not wrong. So this is the generalization of paint. Yes, there is also matte paint, but we cannot do paint correction on matte paint, so we're not really going to be talking about it here. We're going to be talking about it maybe in another tutorial on how to look after matte paint specifically. But for the purpose of paint correction, grasp the things that we have spoken about now. Grasp the idea that there are going to be different layers, and we can only work within one layer. So if there is a scratch, if there is a swirl mark, we cannot cross from one layer to another, because that will damage the paint. So really, if the car is clear coated, we can only work within the clear coat. If the car is a solid color, we can only work within the solid color of the car. We cannot polish from one layer to another layer, because that will damage visually the paint, and the customer can see that we've burnt through the paint. So thank you for watching. Please do let me know if you have any questions. I will upload a cheat sheet that you're welcome to download and reference to. But if you're going to take anything out of this tutorial, understand the different layers of the paint, understand what paint that is too thin to touch looks like, and also understand the different types of manufacturers that have soft, medium, and hard paint, because that's going to help you a lot in first quoting jobs, and secondly in I guess preparing yourself for a job. So if you have a black AMG Mercedes or a white Volkswagen booked in, get ready for some hard paint. If you have a black Dodge Ram, get ready for soft paint. And if you have something like a Toyota Corolla that's blue, start doing backflips, because that's probably going to be medium paint and it's going to be pretty easy to work on. So thank you for watching.